All right, M11, I can solve a system of equations using matrices. It says rref or inverse method. It sounded like most people learned rref and ran with it. Essentially what rref does is allows you to use what's called an augmented matrix because it's augmented with the answers built in also. So you just simply build a matrix out of this. So this would be coefficient 1, -1, -2, and the answer is -6. Typically people put solid or dashed lines right here representing, yes, you're making a 3 by 4 matrix, but these are the coefficients and then these are the answers. And you always need to put those on the right hand side. And then now x has a coefficient of 3, y has 2. There's no z, so you need a placeholder 0. Don't leave that blank. The matrix would freak out, so you put a 0 there. And then this would be -4, 1, and -1, and then the augmented matrix would have a 12. And then you run the process. You find the rref button on your calculator, so rref, and then it turns it into the solution matrix that's going to have ones and zeros across what's called the main diagonal. So then if you put a 1 here, after you see what the answer solution looks like, it'd be 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, and then your answers would be -5, -5, and 3. That would then tell you that this is the x, y, and z variables, which gives us our solution as -5, -5, and 3. You will get situations where it kind of falls apart a little bit. Where it falls apart is when you get your answers typed in or your matrix typed in and then the rref spits out this. If it spits out a situation where it's ones and zeros up here or even double ones, that's okay. Until you get to situations like this where now it's making a statement of 0 equals 1. Well, 0 doesn't ever equal 1, so this is a no solution situation. Another kind of outlier deal that you'll get some rref sometimes is you'll get 0 and then equals 0. Well, when does 0 equal 0? Well, it always does. So this ends up telling me that this is an infinite solution type of answer. Now you could go big with these, go big or stay home. I've heard that quote before. This definitely is a big one because you have 4 equations, you have 4 variables, and you end up building a 1, 2, 3, 4 row by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, so a 4 by 5 matrix. You get ones across the main diagonal with zeros everywhere else, which that's a good sign because then I know that in the way you type these in, this is x, this is y, z, and then w, you'd get x is 1, y is 0, z is -1, w is 2. But then you want to go back over when you make your answer. Typically we put things in alphabetical order, and so then we'd have this. So there's a couple little extra things to think about. Now that's only the rref method. If you wanted to do the A inverse method, which we didn't really show here, what you would do is you would build your matrix like this, but you wouldn't have the augmented part. You would have just this part. So this would be your matrix A, and then your matrix A is getting timesed by the variable matrix. So you'd have your matrix A here. I'm just looking at this one from above. Then it would be times by your variables. In this case, it's x, y, and z. And it's going to equal your answer matrix, which would be -6, -25, and 12. And then if you want to do the A inverse method, you do what we just did on the target before, and you put A inverse over here, and you sneak A inverse in right here, and you do A inverse times this matrix, essentially, and it'll give you your 3 variables. So it's just a different way to look at it. If you wanted to do the inverse method, this is your option. I haven't shown you how you do the rref part, so here's the calculator button pushes. So you go second matrix, and then you edit your matrix, and typically it's a 3 by 4. So I type in edit, and then I type in my 3 by 4 matrix. I go through and put in all my rows and columns and everything. Then I quit back to the main screen, and I want a rref matrix A essentially. So I go second matrix, go math, and then go up a couple arrows until it says rref, hit enter, and then I want to go second matrix again and then just hit enter because it's matrix A that I wanted to do, close the parentheses, hit enter, and it runs the rref for me, and that's how you push the buttons on the calculator.